What's up, Kings fans? We're back in the film room to take a look at another clutch Kings win after a second half rally. We saw what can make this team so deadly late in games, with DeRozan and Fox and DeMar DeRozan seemingly taking turns down the stretch and getting whatever they wanted against Phoenix. And games like these are why you signed DeRozan in the first place. Down double digits and on the road in the fourth against one of your main Western Conference competitors, albeit they were shorthanded. Still, with the Kings shooting poorly and some questionable calls late to say the least, the Kings were facing a lot of adversity, and it was DeMar who got them going and really propelled them to this win. And you don't really get to do much schematically for DeMar either. The Kings really came back and made their run playing a more simple brand of basketball. Here it's just an early hit-ahead pass to DeMar, clear out and letting him operate on an empty side. With DeRozan, it's always interesting watching how he's able to generate paint touches and create space for himself seemingly out of nothing. He's not beating you off pure athleticism or quickness, it's all about using his body, here giving those bumps and spinning off of it but towards the basket and right to his spot. And as long as it gets to where he wants, the contest really doesn't matter. DeMar has an incredible game feel, and he knows when it's time for him to take over and be much more aggressive at looking for his own offense. So here they're down 9 in the fourth. You'll never really see him take an early shot clock pull-up 3, but he felt the need to get something going, and once this one fell, you got the sense that he was really about to get going. The Kings defense I thought really struggled throughout most of the night, so even once DeMar started getting going, the Kings weren't getting stops consistently enough. I feel like the Kings put 2 on the ball, or blitz or hedge off screens way too much, and here the Suns run a guard screen and McLaughlin hedges, but the hedge does absolutely nothing. There's no ball pressure and no backside rotations, so Tyus Jones just pops out uncovered for 3. This is DeMar again working on an empty side and being able to manufacture a paint touch by just putting his body into Booker and working with his back to the basket, and just look at the attention that he draws here. The nail help has a foot in the paint, Bradley Beal is the baseline help, then you have Sabonis' defender in the paint as well. But with that, Lyles comes out uncovered in the weak side corner and DeRozan threads his needle on the skip pass. Late in games, the Kings like to just spam these guard screens. Here they have Keon setting the pick for DeMar, and the Suns don't want to switch Tyus Jones onto DeMar, so they have him hedge and have Bill recover. But by the time Bill is back, DeMar has already created all the space that he needs, and just look at the release point on this shot. This is that same action again. Keon sets the screen and Tyus Jones hedges, and Bradley Beal gets back to DeMar. Now it's ISO time, and I mean there's really not much you can do as a defender. He can stop and pop at just about any time, and does a good job at protecting the ball on his way up, and with that release point it just feels unstoppable. With DeMar cooking as much as he did, I thought it was interesting to see the Kings still integrating some on-ball stuff for Fox in the process. DeRozan would score on 3 or 4 possessions in a row, but they wouldn't force it to him every single possession. They let Fox get his share of on-ball reps too. Again, it's easy offense, just an early offense drag screen for Fox, Ryan Dunn on the weak side gets a foot in the paint, and Fox lasers that skip pass over to Keegan, who has struggled with his shooting, but he hits a big 3 here. The same thing here, you get that Fox Sabonis ball screen again, and with Plumlee in a drop, Fox can step right into this elbow jumper. Here they have Sabonis set that drag screen for DeMar, so they're doing a good job at blending the Fox and DeMar usage together. Plumlee is in a drop again, and Sabonis adds a little nudge to his screen to chip DeMar's defender. DeMar picks the ball up early to evade the nail help, and drops in this floater over Plumlee. Next time down, they go to Fox, but it's the same action. Another good Sabonis screen takes Fox's defender out of the play, so now DeRozan can just snake and weave his way to his spot and gets a clean look at a free throw line jumper. And the next possession goes back to DeRozan. Here it's that guard screen. This time Herter is setting it, and the Suns will have Tyus Jones hedge again. So even though it's not creating a switch, it's still creating an angle for DeMar to attack, so he can get downhill and draw Plumlee, then drop it off to Domas, who gets fouled. Same set, and this time Royce just lets DeMar create way too much space. He's already in a backpedal, so DeMar can use that momentum against him. He loves to put his body into defenders, then spin off of it, and here he gets so deep into the paint, and that's just going to be a practice jumper for him. In crunch time, the Kings' defensive intensity really ramped up, and when this team is fully engaged, they really do play some good defense, man. Herter was awesome last night on both ends. Here he starts off on Jones before switching on to Booker, and man did he battle here. He does a good job at not giving up middle and funneling him into the help in the corner, and stays attached on Booker's spin for the contest. After that stop, the Kings honestly should have won the game here. DeMar gets into the paint so easily on a straight line drive and has one of his easiest looks of the night that he'll make 9 times out of 10. But shout out to Keegan for crashing here. You can see that Booker is ball watching instead of boxing out Keegan, so Keegan just flies in and saves the game off DeMar's miss. Speaking of saving the game, Sabonis did just that the next possession as well on the Suns' potential game-winning ATO. Plumlee's pick for Booker turns into a cross-court skip off a flare screen, and Sabonis has to scramble to pick him up on a switch. And he does a great job at containing him for the final 4 seconds to force a very tough shot at the buzzer. In overtime, DeMar simply decided the Kings were not going to lose this game. They like to run this double drag set for him, but he ends up just attacking in space, and as Mark Jones says, he is the president of the MIDI committee. Yet another guard ball screen, but now the Suns decide that they're just going to concede the switch, but now Tyus Jones is guarding DeMar in space, and he's quite literally able to walk to the basket. The spin helps him create downhill depth, and he's shielding off Tyus with his body in the process, and once he's in the paint, he hops to his spot and finishes over Plumlee at the rim. But yeah man, this dude is just an absolute terror in the clutch, and he was determined to take the Kings home. He hits his defender with a mix of tweens, hangs, and finishes with the leaning sidestep while getting fouled. Just filthy. Even after scoring 4 or 5 straight possessions, the Kings don't force it to DeMar the next time down. Everyone on the planet probably thinks that he's getting the ball. Instead, Fox blows by Tyus Jones and uses the Suns' smaller lineup against them with no big at the rim to protect the paint. One of the Kings' best defensive possessions of the night actually ended with a 4-point play by the Suns because of course it did. But just watch the rotations here as everyone moves on a string, recovers and closes out. On this drive, Lyles helps at the rim and Herter reads this pass to the weak side, gets a hand on it, but for some reason when Lyles saves the ball, they decide to reset the shot clock as if the Kings had possession, and Bradley Beal hits a ridiculous 3 and gets fouled about 3 or 4 seconds after the shot clock should have expired. None of this would matter though, as Fox proceeded to close the game out and score in the next 3 possessions. Guard screen, the Suns don't switch, so now Fox has an angle to get downhill and right to the paint for a wide open 10-footer. This time the Suns have Bradley Beal on Fox, but concede the switch on the guard screen, so Fox still gets Tyus Jones on him, and it's yet another straight line drive into the paint. And next time down, with the game pretty much in hand, De'Aaron decides to just dance on them and get into his bag and give him the dagger. Anyways, as always guys, thank you all for watching and supporting the channel, and I'll see you all next time.